Good evening. I'm your host, Martin Maloney, and this is the Maloney's Digest. I don't know why I'm talking like I have a Ukrainian voice, but I just thought that maybe it had that kind of a sense of occasion about this thing. Today I've written a series of talking points that I should be sharing with you right now, and I hope that you can join me and enjoy this captivating conversation that we will be having together. So, tell us a little about your previous work experience, Martin. Why do you think you can't get a job? I think it's probably because I've got a beard. That's what I once said to a guy in the job centre in Park Street, Liverpool, many, many moons ago. Many, many moons ago. And I looked at the guy and he had a beard. So yeah, how are you all doing? It's been a while since I did a live stream. It's nice to be back. I've been decorating the place. That's why it looks very sparse. It's been taking weeks to get that done. Knocked down a wall and now extended the kitchen. So it's going to be some great culinary delights coming out of this place soon, and it's going to be great. Looking forward to it, man. It's going to be nice sausages. It's going to be some nice smoked brisket. It's going to be pretty sweet. Football for days. How are you, Rushy Durkee boy? Grand and Aaron Kilpatrick. All right. Nice to see you here in the old chat room. Feel free to ask me any questions. None about Hardy Books because I'm fucking sick of that shit at the moment. Any other stuff, man? Any other stuff? And sure, maybe we might even do a bit of talking about the old Hardy Books later on. If you have any questions. Apparently 3 books left. The Splinter Group, Cowboy Kelly, Mikey Salmon, and Pete Cassidy, aka French Toast O'Toole, are going to be doing a show down in the Wonky Donkey down in Cork. So check that out. They've got some slick editing boys looking after them. Shawnee Thomas, the laddie from the States, boy. Sean is in. I'm going to tell you this, man. There's a Hardy Books Patreon account. 5 blips a month, and you get into the Discord group. You get to hang out with me, as these guys will testify. It's a real party in there. Welcome to the party, Richter. Cheers. Friday night with the lads. Rockshore. You know, sometimes when I drink beers, I think back to the old days as I was an ounce officer, and we'd go down to Delphi in County Mayo, and we'd sit there by an old cottage, just kick back, throw a few logs on the fire, take an old Takamine E-series out and just strum. Digging the chicks, digging the dudes, good times by the beach. We'd pack up our stuff then, put the boards on the roof of the car and just head back to Dublin. How I miss those days. But sometimes, when I'm feeling lonely and I want to reminisce, I'll slug a Rockshore and just think about those days. You know? Do you know? Rockshore Lager, enjoy responsibly, brought to you by Diageo. Ooh, what a summons. So, first things first order of business, had a real CS. I'll just take a couple of these. How was the sesh, Sean? It's good, man. Scriptology jerk and never working, says Leon White. Leon, you're welcome to the chat. Good Manny Maloney, good to see you strong. CS man, like C.S. Lewis, he was a genius, but he put a book out every year, whereas Tolkien, I probably would consider Tolkien's work more impacting, put a book out every 20 years, give or take. David McKinney, I'd sup a coffee with the bassist from The Stunning there. Nice lad. Shy to Connect 4. Tell him I said hello. The bassist from Stunning. Was he brewing up a storm of coffee beans? Sinking a few brewskis. I'm just going to have one. Going to take it easy. That was all I had in the fridge anyway, so don't want to go hitting top shelf. It's going to be a quiet night in. I'm currently, get ready for this one. You're going to be like, how the fuck did you pull this one off? Sometimes the stars align. I did a podcast with Eddie Bravo last night, and I have to say, the man has exceeded my expectations of how sound he is. Yeah, there's a website I'm using. It's like a subscription. It's called Squadcast. And not to knock Squadcast, but every time I try and use it, the guest who's coming on doesn't know how the fuck to work it. What it is basically got 2 windows where you can see yourself and you see the other person, so you can have like a back and forth. And at this stage, I can't understand how they, you have Zoom and you have Skype and all these other different softwares. How come it's so difficult just to record the audio as well as maybe it's they save it to a cloud. You basically get their audio and your audio, and you can compile it together later on in post production. But unfortunately, that didn't work. So I did an interview with him on FaceTime and used my phone and a Zoom recorder to get the audio. So I have to edit that together just to make sure everything's balanced out as best as possible. Hey, look into it. But yeah, some good stuff there, man. Some fucking good stuff. It's gonna be, I think for an Irish podcast to get someone like Eddie Bravo on and to discuss the subjects as candidly as we did, I think a lot of people are going to be, what the fuck are those lads talking about, man? But the key, I think, in this day and age is to have an open mind, because, shit's getting out of hand. A couple of little talking points that I thought I'd talk about. Other than the fact that Eddie Bravo is a legend, and I just want to say, man, if you're watching this, Eddie Bravo, you're a fucking legend. And yeah, just enjoyed a good chat with him. It's kind of weird. I was doing this podcast with him, and he's just like this, chilling on the couch. I just every now and again I'd be like, I'm talking to Eddie Bravo. Not only is he, on the Joe Rogan Into That Crack, but like he's also the head of 10th Planet, the gym, which is in its own right an international movement, so that's pretty awesome. Rogan next, football for days. What? Like, yo, Jamie, pull that up. Fucking gorilla, man. That guy would crush. I wonder who'd win in the fight out of a gorilla and a mammoth. Probably the mammoth, if he was still alive. You got those mammoths? What was going on? Putin was talking about bringing back a mammoth. Yo, Jimmy, pull that up a sec. Maybe one day I might end up on Joe Rogan. I was talking to Owen Colgan about doing a promo, or like seeing if we could go and promote Hardy Books in America by going on to the Joe Rogan podcast, which wouldn't be outside the realms of possibility. Chris Green from 2FM. Yeah, I'm talking to Peter Ganley. So maybe we could do like the 3 of us on one call. G. McHugh, you're welcome, Sham. That could be good crack to get Chris Green, because I did like their news. What was it called again? News Swipe, was it? Or was fuck it? It's a couple of years ago now. You know what I mean? But in recent news, Scarlett Johansson has defended Woody Allen, probably hoping to get another few bob for being in one of his feature films. But when you look at Woody Allen, it just says here, nonce. So make of that what you will. Woody Allen, apparently he married his foster daughter when she was 18. If ever there was a smoking gun, that lad's been talking on it. Yeah, so there's a film he was in called Manhattan, and what the fuck's your name again? Marie Hemingway or some shit. I wrote that down the wrong way. But she was 15 in that film, and he was probably like my age, and talking all this highfalutin pub talk and shifting a 15-year-old in the back of a horse and carriage. I mean, you got to ask yourself, like, that girl's parents, right? They were probably like, oh, congratulations, you're in a film with a grown-ass man talking absolute fucking Tommy rot to you while you're being filmed. Mugabe's brown bread. Fuck me, man. Mugabe's brown bread. We are not gays. Mugabe. He was a mad fucker. I wonder what that means for Zimbabwe now. Are they just going to get like another dude to take the reins? Couldn't fucking tell you. But we wish you well, people of Zimbabwe, and God rest old Mugabe. Bless his little soulie. Polanski was a wrong'un. Yeah, Polanski was a wrong'un. I mean, there's no fucking Mama Doug. Oh yeah, there's no fucking doubt about it. Like, how I just don't understand like who's fucking calling it out in the public sphere. Do you know what I mean? Like who's in terms of I'm kind of I've been in the acting game on a very low level with the whole Hardy books and that crack, and I did have aspirations to take it to a higher level. And I was out in Hollywood about 8 years ago, and I think I dodged a bullet, man. I think I fucking dodged a bullet, and I can see why the likes of the Viper is just happy enough with his live stream. You can do that nowadays. You can have an opinion and a grandstand. This is the public space. I also think the problem is with social media these days is that people are being deplatformed left, right, and center, which I think they're being pushed into different avenues, like BitChute or Minds and these kind of places. And I don't think that's a healthy thing for society, because I think it's just going to put people into echo chambers, both sides of the political spectrum. Or if you want to consider it as a graph, no one ever talks about the up or the down. It's always left and right. But I'd be more of a vertical man. Do you know what I mean? Frankie fucking Scones, man. That'd be decent, alright. I could listen to that lad chat shite for hours. Which lad is that now? What's this? Sean Thomas says, the gal Roman raped said it was okay. Oh, yeah. I'm sure she did, yeah. I'm sure she was made up at 13 years old to be fucking sodomized by a pervert like that. Hollywood seems to be a particular kind of subworld of sleaze. It's kind of protected or something. Well, it's protected because there's so much money flowing through it. And there's like a code of silence, because it's like a chain of command. And because it's an international industry, it's like a spider's web. So let's say the biggest bad boys, studio execs and all that, directors, producers, they're like the spider in the middle of the web, and it goes all out to kind of like across the Western world, and you have like different layers of celebrity and what their market value is. And if anybody rocks the boat, they're quietly blackballed. And I think I've not really done that well in terms of mainstream TV, and I don't think it's down to a lack of acting or talent. I think it's just the fact that I'll probably be a difficult enough prick to work with. I'll be the first to say that, and can't keep my mouth shut. Like if I see an injustice, I will. I call bullshit, and I'll say, "Nah, that's not on." And yeah, I've no fucking problem. I mean, there's a lot of shit I could say, and conversely, I could like I know my opinions aren't popular. I mean, in the current climate, like I could just jump on the fucking woke train and then just cash in by serving platitudes to people who have been conditioned to listen to it. But I look at the kind of the Overton window in terms of political opinion nowadays, and what was once held as the bell curve right in the middle, the apex of popular opinion, is now seen as being radical. When you see like Friends, a show that predominantly was watched by women and lads who were just forced to watch RTE, and it was good. There's some funny bits in Friends. Great broad appeal. Hats off to them. Joey Tribbiani, Chandler Bing, Phoebe, Ross Geller, Monica Geller, Rachel. Great bunch of lads. Gone now. Cunts. So, what else we got here? Yeah, that leads me into cancel culture. I think Dave Chappelle's special there, that's been the talking point of recent times. I have to say it was very funny. A lot of people are saying, oh, hold on a second, Mama Duck has got something to say. Brooke Shields' mum pimped nude pics of her when she was 11. Errol Flynn was a nonce. Hollywood is mecca for exploitation since it was built. Yeah. Apparently there's a mall in Hollywood, and it was like stars going up to a kind of a chaise long couch in this mall, and it said some sort of joke, like an in joke about like the casting couch. It was like the casting couch, where dreams come true. So it's common knowledge, man. It's fucking disgusting. And I mean, in gang of cunts, you're kind of like one notch up from a prostitute, because when you're working on a shoot, right, and let's say something happens, it's an emergency. If you're working on a sound shoot, they'll be like, "Look, we understand you can't make it," but there's this fucking it's like a psychotic, because there's so much money at stake. It kind of attracts some of the biggest psychos out there. So if someone can't turn up, it's like that, you let us down, man. You're fucking blackballed. You're never coming back here again. Or it's even more kind of subtle than that. You'll think you're doing well. I'm not talking about personal experience, but just from what I've heard. So like you will, you don't even get told what if you could be talking out of turn about someone, or you could be complaining on the set, and then you won't. No one will. They'll be like, yeah, you're right, yeah. And next thing, you've lost your fucking job, and then you're blackballed on other productions. So I don't like that. Like for me personally, if I was in a situation, I'd prefer someone to say it to my face. Like I have no problem with having, like, I'm a chilled out guy, but I would prefer to have a face to face confrontation. And hey, I fucking lost the plot many a time, man. But that's the thing. It's like my uncle Martin, when I was working with him driving machines when I was a teenager and doing plant machinery, and one of the most fun jobs I've ever worked in. Just stripping parts off diggers and then driving diggers around. And yeah, actually, I've recently considered going back and studying being a diesel mechanic, just driving machines, because I had a bit of a taste of it recently, and I was like, fuck me, man, this is one of the sweetest jobs ever. It's like a PlayStation game. So I'm currently working on getting a digger driver license. And I know a lot of people are like, what the fuck, man? Nothing wrong with it, man. It's a fucking decent income for doing something you love doing. I'll still do this, and if any acting work comes up, I'll take that. But I just kind of feel like I just want a fucking normal life. Any thoughts on that, lads? Is Kevin Hart's back broke apart, or what happened? Yeah, I heard Kevin Hart had an accident. Not sure what the crack is, but someone was saying Kevin Hart, yeah, he's he can't walk or something. Simpler way these days, says Niall Donegan. The Anthony Bourdain bit was hilarious. There's a lot of fucking funny bits in the Chappelle special. I love that Chappelle special. It's insane that it would be considered in any way controversial because of how neutered comedy has become, when the Chappelle show has more controversial shit in it. I'll tell you something about me in comedy, right? Just generally, I spent like the 90s and the 2000s aspiring to the likes of the 11 o'clock show, The Office, Will and Grace. That was a joke. Peep Show, Father Ted, and then on top of that, if any of you are like late 20s onwards, MTV and all that shit was like, you had the likes of Strutter. But there's a lot of shit on Channel 4, like vids, like the late night stuff. And I was like, yeah, man, this is fucking great comedy. And then you look back over nearly all that stuff and it would be deemed offensive now. And it's just stuff that everyone consumed and enjoyed. I like to know exactly who it is. Like, let's say these American college campuses. I seen a video today where they had some fucking weird chanting going on in a classroom in the States, and they were saying like, the patriarchy is real, and all this just fucking parroted talking points that are based in a subjective reality. And it's, I remember I went to college for a year, did media studies, and we had this guy called Jude. Jude was like, it's a cool dude, man. He used to wear leather jackets to school. Looked a bit like Bono, had long hair to here. He's like, cool. Hitchcock's North by Northwest. You see, the femme fatale was dressed in black, and she was always the one who ended up dying, whereas the woman in white represented the bride. And I remember being a 19-year-old going, wow, this is fucking gospel, man. And in fairness to Jude, wherever he is. It was a pretty interesting, pretty interesting way. But you go to college and you do these fucking modules that are mandatory, like communications. I just thought it was fucking boring as shit, man. I didn't want to do it. So I don't know what kind of mandatory education students have to do today. And when you're young, like I think one thing that should be taught, which isn't taught, is discernment, to basically read between the lines or come to your own conclusions based on what you believe to be true. And I don't think that's being taught in a mainstream capacity. And I kind of feel like I've probably dodged a bullet not going to college. It was always something I was like, oh man, should go to college, but what are you getting out of it at the end of the day in the States? Most people are coming out with fucking 200 grams worth of debt for studying fucking shoes. Chinese man joke was hilarious. One of the best bits. Da Liomza. Can't remember the Chinese man joke. What advice would I give my 18-year-old self? I don't know. I mean, if I did anything differently now, it would have changed the course of my life drastically, for better or worse. Weirdly enough, when you consider what one decision you'll make at the time, this is something that I realized that I get older, the importance of decisions and the importance of the effect, and not a chronological knock-on effect that you have on the world around you. A case in point would be when I was 19 and went Interrail, and I went to Barcelona, and I was thinking about going to Ibiza, because it was like Ibiza Uncovered, Sky One, ooh, tits. So I went to this travel agent with these two guys who I've met traveling, and I remember looking up on the wall. I was ready to buy this ticket to Ibiza. I had no idea like what the hell was going to happen in Ibiza, but I looked at the map on the wall and I said, okay, I've got an Interrail ticket, and I could see south of France in Greece, and that's where I was planning on going to Greece. So I was like, yeah, I think I might just swerve this and go to Greece. But going to Greece was a decision that has completely, that's why I'm in Sweden now, because of that one decision. Like the friends I have today are a direct result of one split decision that I made in EOS. So there's a lot of times, there's a lot of times in life where you'll even have like a gut feeling, and that's happened to me where I've had a gut feeling. It's like, yeah, we've got to make a right decision here. And a couple of years ago, I got into a bit of legal bother. But my sister in the morning, she was managing me, and she said to me, oh yeah, they phoned. They wanted to know, do you want a rider for the show? So I thought to myself, yeah, I'll get a rider. And so I was like, okay, I'll get a bottle of vodka for like the lads on the night, but I get a bottle of Jimmy and take that home to Mayo and have hot ones. But when I said that, I got this like almost like a mini kick to the stomach. It was like intuition saying, I don't know about this. And sure enough, shit happened. So there's a lot of weird shit out there. But again, it's about having an open mind. Let's see, Annie Knus, var är du nu? Jag är i Stockholm. Var är du, Annie Knus? Leon White, Niall Donegan. It's a Owen Colgan landlord vid on YouTube. Watch it. It's comical. Yeah, I'll have to check that out, man. I'll have to check that out. Who's doing that with him? Dr. David, I spent 9 years in college, and it sort of institutionalizes you. I think there's a huge amount of value in living first. It depends. If you have a strategy in mind of what you want to do when you go to college, a lot of people don't. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew, like back in the day, I was like, oh, I want to be famous, which was a real fucking nebulous aspiration. But that was what I was sitting and consuming TV, being like, oh man, look at those guys, and with this naive view of how luxurious and pleasant that world would be. But I can only imagine. Like, look at Tom Cruise, right? I mean, like I met Tom Cruise once, and I have to say he's a very friendly guy. but like he can't walk down the street alone without being swamped, or like one of the One Direction lads. Like that's a fucking crazy thing. Can you imagine? No matter what country you go to, you're going to be chased by paparazzi and screaming girls. Just fucking mental. Good crack at the time. Dr. David, absolutely. Some call it employee mindset. Schools are brilliant at instilling it. I'll tell you, that's a world peas. I like that. That's a very good point about the institutionalization of school, because from an early age, you are told not to think outside the box, and you're told what you can and can't do, and if you get punished for breaking their rules. And I was always in trouble in school, even since I was like, I think the first time I was ever in trouble in school, I was about 5, and I scratched some lad called Anthony Green's face in school. He had like claw marks down his face. But that was my first taste of trouble in school, and it just became normal. Like I'm always in some sort of trouble, and I think that's my cross to carry. But what are you gonna do? Life is some people say life is a choice between boredom and suffering. I've often took the suffering route, but I'm willing to give boredom a chance. What was not was that not part of your formative experience, soaking it all up, that comedy, to see how it worked? Yeah, I suppose it was. Like I was always the class clown. I was always, when I was younger, I was a lot more fearless than I was today. You see, that was something I meant to say earlier on about comedy. Like for me, I'm kind of like instinctively, I just want to let loose, and I know if like I'm constantly self-censoring. Even like as soon as I start recording myself on a podcast, it's like, oh fuck, because I'm thinking about these hypothetical, judgmental pricks, and fuck them, And I think people, as Dave Chappelle said in his Bird Revelation, people need to start talking recklessly, especially comedians. I mean, obviously, there's certain people who, like politicians, can't go speaking recklessly, but comedians, I think, should speak recklessly because they're the release valve for society. I mean, the fact you can't, if you're in an awkward situation, the best thing to do is laugh, is to make a joke. It relieves the tension. Comedy relieves tension in society. That's why the jester was so important back in feudal days, because the jester was the only person who could make fun of the king and the court. He was a very important role. Or as the Beatles have said, the fool on the hill. Yeah, so the fool is why is man to play the fool? I often heard. Let me see. Oh, you're Rory. Bro, your mic is clipping in and out dead fast. Well, I wish someone had fucking told me that sooner. The whole fucking podcast was a waste of time, or the live stream. Cheers to the heads up there. What claw job. Class story. Say, cool story, bro. Internet memes are class. No, is that any better? Just let me know there in the comment section. Leon, I've time for students, but students should be killed. Do you snooze since in Sweden? Too damn hard to get here in Ireland. Well, actually, Kevin, you can get it off a website called Nordman, which they'll send it to Ireland, but I don't know if it's any good. This stuff is Alexander Gustafsson's. It's not bad. It's cheaper than the other stuff, and gives you the right nicotine kick. But I did start that in Sweden, yeah. Sure, where else would I have started it? Okay, let me just see. So it's worse. Hey, could be your fucking speakers. Let me see, what's this? The top of the list. I'm coming up like a fucking bastard, man. Scorpio Lions. Great man. Great energy. He's got his finger on the pulse of youth culture. There's a lot of guys who just like to
sit on street corners and watch this Japanese hatchbacks just roll on by. Innocent times. Hotbox in the car, listening to DJ Alligator and Tall Paul and just turning the fucking volume up. They were good times. Now I work in investment capitalism up in Dublin. I'm good on the sound. Well, if it's good with you, Shawnee, Liam Murphy, the fucking main man. Gonna get fucking Shady Ganley on the podcast, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get Peter Ganley on the podcast. He said he's gonna do it. That'd be good crack. I'll do it again. Any sign of more Hardy books? It's all quiet at the moment, but we're going to be doing a film in May of next year, hopefully. So fingers crossed. Be myself and Colgan, and that'll be a bit of a laugh. Bit of a laugh. So what else? What other talking points does a bra have here? Well, I suppose I kind of touched on cancel culture, and. Yeah, cancel culture. I mean, people just need to fucking toughen up, man. And I think that was the main message of Chappelle's Sticks and Stones. That was the handbook. That one phrase growing up as a kid was all you needed. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And that was it, man. Can you imagine being a fucking ginger kid with Irish parents growing up near Liverpool? I got words like ginger minge, Red Rooster, Gingerbread Man, Bungie. You hear stuff like, have you read? Or do you read? Have you read Pubes? And it's just, you fucking get used to it. It's just some fucking words, man. And like I worked for my uncle when I was a kid, and he'd say, loosen up, you fucking donkey. And like I'd be 10 years old, and he said, I want to see fucking sweat pumping out of you. Fucking sweat. And he'd be getting me to like sweep up the yard. And I was like, I didn't understand what he meant by loosen up. I was like, whoa, I've got to be like this. But he was just saying like, fucking break into it. And when it comes to work, as you might not be surprised, I like to kind of chill, just get, the job will get done, but it won't be the fastest job. I like to make sure the job is done thoroughly. And as John Kennedy says, it builds character. Like my dad as well, working on the sites with him. Son, you're fucking no interest in the fucking tools. For fuck's sake. There was one night back in 2006, summer's night, we were working on my Uncle Martin, my mother's brother's house, my dad's brother-in-law, another Mayo man. And we were working on his garage, and the garage was so good we had to do up the house to match the garage afterwards. We didn't do up the house. I think he wanted shut of us. I think it was like a 2-month job, took like 5 months, but it was a fucking beautiful garage. So I'll tell you a funny story actually. It was one Friday, it's during a heat wave in the end of July. My dad loves the fucking drop, loves the dropping. The thirst, son. It's funny how you get the taste for it. So it's about 30 degrees, and we're trying to build like the top layer above the windows. So we have to put like a lentil across the doorway and the windows, and then do the rest of the bricks on top of it. So my dad, I'd fucking parched, son. I'd fucking parched. I'd go down and get a couple of cannings. So lovely cider. So he goes down to the off license. He comes back with 12 cans of Carling, just sticks them in like this blue barrel full of water. And so he's on painkillers for his back. He's on like diazepam or something. So we're having a few fucking tinnies on the job, like. And I was fucking half steamed walking up and down the scaffolding. We were doing the brickwork. I was mixing up for him and helping him block lay. I was like, this is fucking brilliant crack, man. Working while pissed. And so, yeah, we went home anyway. And we were working on the Saturday. And we're on the way over from Liverpool. My Uncle Martin phones up my dad and he goes, what the fuck is going on with the brickwork off the fucking back? Fuck's sake, you fucking useless bastards. So turn up the next day and the brickwork is just sailing up and down. He didn't even use a level. So my dad was like, jeez, mate, I'm fucking the back and the heat. I couldn't fucking think straight. He'd omitted the cannings. So, yeah, my uncle goes, look at the fucking bricks. Look at the fucking bricks. They're up and down like a fucking pair of horse knickers. And I'm not even a fucking brickie, and I can tell you that. But yeah, that was good crack with the old lad. He was he's a funny fucking dude. I might get my dad on the podcast. I've spoken to him about it. Oh, this message is held for review. Jimmy McHugh. Oh fuck, man. Used to lay brick stoned out of my mind, Johnny. Yeah, I mean, fucking whatever gets you through the day. Just let it, like, if you're not doing any harm to anyone, just fucking let them off. Grand if you're broke for pre-drinks. Well, you know what, gets you straight to the power zone. But that's not the thing I was going to tell you about my dad. Around that time, we went to this place called the Jacaranda in Liverpool, which was where John Lennon used to hang around, and you can still see the paintings that John Lennon did of like fish on the inside of the pub. So every Thursday night they used to have this open mic night. So my dad, great man, buying the Stellas, no dinner, empty stomach, feeling a bit fucking wrecked. Go up and play a song there, son, will you? I was like, Dad, I'm not in the mood. I don't even know what song I want to play. The fucking Rolling Stones one you do, son. So I was like, look, Dad, fucking wrecked. I'm not feeling it. I've no energy. I've no gusto in me. I don't want to do it. All right, son. I respect your decision. So I was like, fair enough. That was very understanding of him. So next thing, about half an hour later, please welcome to the stage, Martin Maloney. So I go up on stage. I'm like, fuck, I'm thrown into the wolves' nest here. Like, oh, the wolves' den or the viper's nest. So I'm trying to sing Dead Flowers, which is a real kind of low number. And you just get everyone fucking chatting in the background. I couldn't hear myself playing because there was no monitors in front. So my dad just gets up in front of everyone and goes, son, just sing the fucking song. I was mortified. I looked around and I just went over the microphone and said, Dad, you're a fucking asshole. So, yeah. Great times in retrospect at the time. Quite awkward. Dead Flowers is one of the best Stone songs. Indeed it is, David. Indeed it is. Jules is Jimmy Bars. All right, mate. Well, Martin. Any crack in this house? Plenty of crack in this house, mate. Plenty of fucking crack. How are you getting on over in Newcastle or somewhere like that, is it? Gilby Clarke does a great version. Gilby Clarke, replace fucking Izzy Stradlin in Guns N' Roses, I'll have you know. Apparently, Izzy Stradlin got sacked because he wasn't moving around stage enough. Man after my own heart. Gets the job done without moving around too much. I want to get Duff McKagan on the podcast. So if any of you guys have if you can do a bit of digging, find out the contacts and I'll get that lad on. Same birthday as myself, apparently. Just south of Newcastle by Cracks Going Strong. My man. That's what I like to hear. Any new tracks coming out? Fucking haven't had the time, man. There's a band called Johnny and Mick Cronin, Leeds lads, good lads, based in Mullingar, and they're from where they're from, Rathlee, I don't know, somewhere in fucking Longford. What's the name of the town they're from again? Fuck it, forgive me, but they're on about Matty, come down, we'll do a couple of days in the studio. If I can get over to Ireland and just fucking bam, 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 do it all this shit in one go, I will. Get Salmon on the podcast. That's a good point. This goes from Scouse to Swinford, every different word. That it does, Niall. Bit like myself. Fountains of Wayne are after you. Yeah, fucking Wayne Lynch, the dragon. Rath Conrath, sound. Brian Pryor, fair folks. Salmon lives a few estates away from me. Is that over in Tubber, hey? Let me just show you some of the weird shit Stateside fucking sends me. Hold on, where's my phone? Don't know where the phone is. Fuck it. Yeah, Stateside sent me a picture of him completely dressed facially in with full drag. and I think Stateside needs to be working, man. That's a man who needs a task to perform on a regular basis. Yeah, Jonah Anderson, how's it going, man? Just moved to Sligo. Got talking about how dodge it is by my flat. What? Got talking about how to dodge it is by my flatmate. Ever been there? Don't quite understand. Your punctuation, man, you threw me off. How's it going, man? Just moved to Sligo. Get a talking to about how dodgy it is by the flatmate. Ever been there? Oh yeah, been to Sligo many times. Yeah, is it dodge? I'd say there's a couple of fucking shady boys knocking around, man. You know what I mean? Go up to Strand Hill. Very nice out there. Any chance of Viper being on the podcast? I'd like to get him on, but I don't know if he would do it out of character. I don't know if he's always quite reserved. Doubt he would, but hey, he's welcome to. He's welcome to. I think I've only spoken to him once in the past year. He's gone off the radar, man. One of the greatest moments in comedy is when Ali G accuses one of his guests of not flushing the jacks backstage. Yeah, he was. You see, that's what I grew up with, Ali G. You know, when that first came out on the 11 o'clock show, it was just fucking massive. Everyone was talking about it. It was like, you know, my uncle Jamal, right? He had this. How do you speak? I think my house was haunted because my uncle Jamal. He said, yeah, what was it? I was staying at my uncle Jamal's house, yeah, and I heard like this man go, like the sound of a man making noises, and fuck, I've ruined it, man. I'm wrecked as well. As you can see, I've got some sort of lazy eye going on. That means I'm fucking wrecked. But yeah, just fucking check out Uncle Jamal, Ectoplasm. Thanks, Bart. Funniest man I know is from Sligo. Sligo Spiders himself. Yeah. I was there 2 weekends ago for holidays, kicking about Ross Point, drinking myself stupid in Hardigans by 3 p.m. till night. Shh. You wake the baby. Some pub, Hardigans. I haven't been there. The Leitrim is the spot. Apparently that's where during Rag Week, some lad threw a keg off a balcony and it landed on the owner's Maserati. I'd say that cost a few bucks. We're all locked. Yeah. So what else is on the old list? I just took them out a few minutes ago before I did this live stream. Yeah, so sure, a lot of this shite is just basically what I covered anyway. But I just want to say about social media. I always talk about it, but like any time I go on there, it's just people fucking promoting themselves, and I think it's really made people narcissistic. I mean, yeah, definitely. I think the world has gone so fucked up because of all this. Because any fucking Egypt now can get a platform. So look at me, I'm fucking talking to you on YouTube. Would have had to have gone to school to that. 9 years of broadcast in Ballyfermot. Jimmy Jules bars. I was out in Drumcondra the last weekend for the final. Unreal scenes at the Red Parrot. Be out again for the replay. So a knocked is Irish for tonight. Oh yeah, by the way, Mart saw you struggle there. Hey, haha. I was at the Mayo match. Fucking tough one. Yeah, man, it was a great day to go down to the Mayo match. But second half just all fucking fell apart. You coming to Clonmel, hey? Load of Sky boys. Yeah, like here's the thing. If you want me to do gigs, just hook me up with local venues and I'll be there, man. I'll be there. I'm putting a new show together for the autumn. I've been writing the Hardy book as well, which is a work in progress, and yeah, that's something that you're gonna enjoy. I might do an episode on the podcast where just fucking read a chapter from that, just to give you a taste, nice little stocking filler. What are you drinking? I'm drinking this fucking stuff, Fem Comma Tfoan, which means 5.2, made by don't know. That seems to be the name of it. But check this out. Hold on. 2 otters just chilling. And then you got the 5 and the 2. And that there is your 2 fucking bluebells. 5.2, man. You're in stellar country there. Are you on bad terms with Francis or not? Seems none of you are seen together anymore. No, it's just fucking don't hear from him, man. You know, and yeah, I think we've kind of all gone separate ways. But there's only one thing that can bring us back together, and that's hard coin. Yeah, I'm kind of I'm thinking maybe just fucking get this Hardy book out, and then I think I'm just gonna fucking pull the plug on it after that. Well, we'll see what happens. But doesn't look like those otters are chilling, Martin. Looks like they've been on the 5.2 all day and having a dispute over a buxom lass. True. That's I like that. You see, that's reading behind the scenes. That, you know, it's open to interpretation. Liverpool or Everton? Liverpool, but I have great respect for Everton because I was an Everton supporter and then switched when I was 13. Glory hunting. But I haven't changed since. There's a lot of lads going around who they were United, and then Leeds started doing well. Then they were Leeds. Then Chelsea did well, and they were Chelsea. And then City started doing well, and they were City. And then Liverpool started doing well, and then they went from United all the way to Liverpool. So a lot of that weird shit going on, man. You know what I mean? Netflix is the future. Yeah, you know what? Maybe Netflix might come to us and say, we like what you're doing. We want to see more of it. So much more. In fact, we're going to give you a 12-episode deal. That would be nice. Yeah, I should be a Tranmere Rovers fan. Yeah, it never really fucking appealed to me, to be honest with you. Like, second division, not my cup of tea. There's something a bit weird about Birkenhead as well. It was kind of like Liverpool's younger, stranger brother. A lot of hard cases living up in the Ford estate as well. Apparently back in the 80s, they took a lot of people out of some rough areas in Liverpool and then built an estate for them. And it had a reputation for being one of the most dodgiest places in the Whittle. Hardy Books is the best series. Thanks and greetings from Estonia. Jamo242, it's a pleasure. And I hope you spread the word. Estonia seems to be some sort of weird, like, fucking, everything's all gone super tech. Apparently, like, anyone can just make a digital citizenship in Estonia. And apparently, they have a very generous banking scheme. So check that out if you want to. I think the only time you get taxed is if you can become a digital citizen. Am I right there? Quote me on that if I am. Where you can set up yourself up as an Estonian citizen, and the only time you get taxed is taking money out of the bank or some shit like that. Hey, what the fuck do I know? I'm not an economist. Why don't you ask Netflix? I would ask Netflix if I knew who to ask. Netflix is a funny old one. You can't go unsolicited, even though we have an in with RTE. But, you know, maybe we'll see. Esty, that's the one, Jimmy. That's the fucking one. Stephen, Thomas, Salmon, French Toast, and Cowboy have a Facebook page called 3 Books Left. I'm very well aware of that. No, fair play to you, Niall. And you know what? Fair play to the guys, because they were fucking sitting around wanting to be doing something, and you know, nothing was going on, and so they just decided to do their own thing, and good luck to them. They're the Splinter Group. So you know, if you keep at it, eventually you'll strike gold. Pretty sure on the Estonian bit, what to say? I'd say Flowerhouse says, I'd say the women are tidy in Estonia as well. Do you know what, mate? I wouldn't disagree with you. I'm sure they are very tidy. Jonah Anderson, who would win in a fight, Pat Kenny or Ryan Tuberty? I go for Pat Kenny because he did jostle a man over a strip of land behind his house. So he's quite a big dude as well, man. He's got quite an imposing frame, and I'd say he probably has like a rowing machine and an exercise bike down in the basement, probably a punch bag, and he just fucking goes, well, it's time you got a good seeing too, because I am very angry with the state of the country. So he probably fucking boshes out with left, right, lefts, uppercuts, even though it's quite hard to uppercut a bag, but he probably does lean right into that just to get the cardio going. Kenny all day, good man, Jimmy. Kenny all day, yeah, it's a unanimous decision that Byrne would batter them all, though. Tag team. Burns. What's he up to these days? Is he still presenting that show with Stephen Fry and all that? Great publicity. Living in Ireland or Sweden? I'm in Sweden, back in Sweden. Boomtime Pat Kenny. Very strong character. Come to Newry for a pint of the Black Stuff, man. Oh, shit again, man. Yeah, man, I do that, man. You know what I mean? I fucking come to Newry and do a bit of fucking pinting with the boys. The meaning of life shite. That's a good idea for a podcast. Who's the hardest in the Hardy books? Is it the Boo? Probably me and Frenchie and the Boo. We all. But saying that, Owen's a good scrapper, and I'd say they can all rumble, even fucking Tardoff. He would be a fucking sneaky cunt. Moves like a reptile. But they're all. I think we all know how to handle ourselves. I think it's like a necessity when you grow up in a town like Swinford. It's just you never know who's gonna just jump out at you, pissed from a minibus, going, "You fucking called my old lady a bitch back in second year," and it's like fucking 20 years later, and you're like, "What?" Owen has the technique for the jabs. He does, man. He's got a very good swing. We went to a driving range in Castlebar a couple of years back. And, man, he was fucking belting the balls like 300 meters. I was very impressed with his... for a small enough lad, he could fairly bosh it out. Occam's Bruce. How's she cutting? She's all right. Noreen was sound, hey, says Graham Russell. She was sound. She's very sound in real life, fair play to her. Owen Hips Colgan went through Swinford the other day. Hey, any crack in Swinford? Say hello to the old lady for me. Did you ever get starstruck, and by who? Good question, Jonah. Good question. I was starstruck yesterday with Eddie Bravo. That was like so weird because talking to him, it just seemed really normal, but at the same time, like I'm talking to Eddie Bravo, but it's really normal. But then again, I'm like, fuck. So there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to cover in that podcast, but like shit's coming thick and fast at you. Didn't even get to talk about like the love of like shred metal and thrash and the sleaze metal in the LA 80s scene. But who else? I met Liam Gallagher and Harry Styles simultaneously. I'd say if I met them both separately, I would have been a bit more like chilled, but when you meet the two of them, like two A-listers at once, it's kind of like shit. That was grand. That was a nice touching. So Gas, you managed to get Bravo on, man. Congrats on that. Like, hey, yeah, he's sound. In fairness to him, he didn't disappoint. As I said earlier on, he's just a fucking good. Like, there's certain people like you see enough of. Like, there's been people who I've met and that have been really disappointed, and then there are other people in the public eye I've met who have surprised me as well. But I kind of knew from watching podcasts with Eddie Bravo that and a lot of his content, I mean, he just had to be a fucking cool dude. So yeah, check out. I'm gonna cut the rest of that together this evening and hopefully have it uploaded for you tonight. But I just thought I've been wanting to do a live stream and just hang out with you guys for quite a while now, and yeah, it was a nice night to do it. So hey Martin, how are you getting on? Says Fraggles 1986. Would you guys ever go back to do more Hardy Books YouTube series? Do you know what? I would love that. I'd fucking love that. Just to get everyone together and just do a fucking run of freebies for the fans. I mean, for me, like I've tried to hold it together as long as I can, and I don't have the fucking energy anymore, man. And I've got my own shit going on, and there's only a finite amount of patience you have. It's there was a lot of strong characters in there, and yeah, I mean they're got a lot of love and time for the guys, but sometimes we were friends when we started off, and working with friends and family, I've seemed to have done fucking both. But that said, I'd love to do some more with them, because I think we only we only manage to skim the surface, and I really feel like we're missing a trick in this modern age by not doing YouTube stuff. I think the only way to do it is if you, as fans, start some sort of movement where you demand we do it, and yeah, just get on the case with that. But for me personally, I've done my bit, man. Snooze by. Gonna watch the Khabib fight, man. You know what? I haven't been following UFC lately. Like, I've actually signed up to start doing BJJ again yesterday. I think all of you guys, like, if you haven't done any kind of martial arts before or get into it, you'll meet a whole new crew of really nice people. And the BJJ community, they're sound. You know, like they help you through the process of learning new moves and strategies, and it's just good to be able to, like, especially like if you're sparring in boxing, like you're being hit in the head and you're hitting other people, and I find that bit unpleasant. I don't like being hit in the face. Don't like hitting other people in the face. Sound effects there, and yeah. So, but jiu-jitsu, you can go like 100%, and it's, you know, at the end of it, you kind of hug it out and go, sweet. So Russell Brand's doing it, and that guy's got a class beard. What do you make of Russell Brand? I used to really enjoy Russell Brand's Big Brother's Big Mouth, but I just find his use of highfalutin vernacular. Oh, cheers. A bit fucking. You know, I kind of feel like just drop the big words, man. Do you know what I mean? Just, it's not a competition. You've established yourself as an intellectual now, and yeah, just stop showing off. Real talk. Pat Kenny or Khabib? Ooh, you know what? I would love to see that, just out of curiosity. Personally, that's kind of why I prefer boxing. Is it no? For folks, the BJJ boys like smoke too. Well, they do, because I mean, I've never smoked and rolled, but I've rolled and smoked. But yeah, I mean, it seems like something that if you did alter your state of consciousness, you could approach the mat differently. John Anderson says Russell Brand's been a strange guy. Russell should remain an adjective. Oh man, Max Darwin, got to give you credit there. That was very clever. I like that one. Who's Jimmy McHugh? Cunt's never had an original thought, man. Who Brand should just be reading fucking old books, man. Reading old fancy books. Have you ever thought of making a Twitch channel or Mixer, as you do get paid for? Oh, you're only telling me this now. Fucking damn right. Twitch. I do have a Twitch account, actually. And maybe I should fucking do it to Twitch. He's a socialist scumbag, that lad. Ponderland was good. That's when he had your man Matt King working with him. He was very funny. Yeah, socialism, man. I was big into the kind of socialist vibe when I was younger. And I think, you know, without sounding like a sitting on the fence merchant, the best way is usually in the middle. You know, it's like I think we should definitely take care of the vulnerable in society and give people a hand up by, you know, putting resources into education and training and that kind of thing. But I think just fucking handing out free money disincentivizes people's economic libido, or kills it, you know. And you're talking experience. But yeah, I mean, it depends on, like, socialism all depends on where it is, how much natural resources you have, if you have sanctions on your country. The whole Venezuela thing at the moment, like, you get, like, there's a lot of people slacking off Venezuela, but if Venezuela was allowed to trade freely, then they wouldn't be in this situation now. A lot of people are blaming socialism for. I mean, look, I don't claim to know the ins and outs of the situation in Venezuela, but it's pretty apparent that they're going through foreign interventionism there. Won't mention any names, but at the end of the day, they're the most oil-rich resource country in the world. It doesn't matter if it's socialist or capitalist or somewhere in the middle. they have, if they sell that on the open market, I mean, they're going to make money. I mean, look, as I say, I don't really know what the crack is there, but yeah, we gotta do. Why not get Chris stream and do a bit of gaming? Man, Kev, fucking, like I said, man, I would do it, but I don't think he's interested. Simple as that. I think it's his domain. So yeah, fucking man, I'll do my own streaming anyway. Like if he wants to join, like I ain't got no beef. I'd say we'd have fucking good crack. Phoenix Knights is a forgotten gem. Yeah, I watched Phoenix Knights lately. It's fucking hilarious. And it's also got your man Neil Fitzmaurice in it as well. And he'd actually be someone. I might actually make a note of that right now. Neil Fitzmaurice. And Morris Fitz Neil. Yeah, he'd be a good guest. Yeah, you could have a cock in it. But you wouldn't have the balls to fuck. Peep show. Kean Mahan asks, who's more of a dodgy bastard, Jimmy the Hammer or Crowbar of the Sligo Boys? Probably Jimmy the Hammer, because he's done proper time. Chase the crow for food. Great quip. Occam's brute. I'm infatuated with women. Let me see. Someone asked, are you really a Liverpool fan liking the show? Jay, I am a really Liverpool fan liking the show. And I did follow the Premiership race with great passion, especially because I'm in a WhatsApp group with Paul Gallagher, and it gets a bit nasty. It's a little bit nasty, but it's all good fun. Raoul Mortman, Gaza. You know what? I was actually thinking about getting Gaza. If I could fucking get Gaza on the podcast, man, I'd be like, why'd you play for fucking Rangers? You can't. Gaza will bring you a chicken supper. He will. And not only that, he'll bring you a bag of cans, a loaf of chicken, or a loaf of chicken. Yeah, he'll bring all that stuff, man, and a dressing gown as well. There's actually pictures of Gaza where he's actually talking to people, and he has like a jacket. I think it's like and I don't know if it's he's dressed in a dressing gown. I can't remember, but he's fucked, man. Do you see that bit where you got that lad going up to him going, I'm here with like England legend, like Newcastle legend, number 8, Paul Gascoigne. You get me any coke? What? You get me any cocaine, man? I'll pay you. I could ask. Yeah. He's just a man who enjoys a good time. Is too much to ask for? And he gets demonized for that. Martin, never asked you, but what do you think of Steven Gerrard? Well, I had a great time for him, but now he's a Rangers manager, so wouldn't be too fucking big on that. Like Maloney, it's me, Gaza. I'll tell you another funny story. I don't know if you've heard this, but when I was on the Celebrity Apprentice a couple of years ago, all the lads in the first episode were trying to get off. Cunts weren't feeding us, and they're asking us all these like psychological questions to try and get us all pissed off. So Mikey Graham from Boyzone and myself, he's another guy I'm going to get on the pod actually, because he's another legend. Mikey Graham, yeah. I will vote myself off. And before, like, I wasn't even supposed to be voted off in the first episode, but I said, look, man, I've got the Galway Film Festival at the weekend, and to be quite honest with you, I don't get to see my family at the weekend, so, just fucking get me off here, man. I've had enough of this shit. Like, and he goes, right, so I have made a decision. I have changed my mind based on some new information. I nominate Martin and myself. So I wanted to get Andy Moran. It's a good fucking show, Jimmy. All the fucking ideas are coming up from you, lads. Look, if you have any ideas for anything you want to see, just fucking hit me up, man. Or any videos or content. I'll do my best to facilitate that. But yeah, so Mikey Graham, he got to stay, and I got fired. But after you won Caroline Down, he goes, Martin, you're a good man, but I just don't think you took this competition seriously. And for that reason, you're fired. And when I got up, I said, send us a check in the post. They cut it out. Cut it out. Gutted. Favorite Galway memory? Hey, where do I start? A lot of forgotten times in Galway as well. Yeah, fucking hell. There was one time, I said this on the podcast, where Pete got absolutely fucking steamboat willied, and these lads who were working with the Boo and Tesco set off the fire extinguisher, and Pete ended up being just covered completely white. Everything was white apart from the wet bits of his eyes. So later on, we went down to this around Spanish Arch, and there was this like hobo who was hanging around, and he was a bit of a rough diamond. Like, he was one of those kind of guys who he'd go for you. So I said to Pete was fucking, oh, you think you're fucking better than me, do you? He got into that confrontational pissed mode. I said, hey, give that lad a hug, Pete, for the crack. So Pete walked up and tried to hug him, and he goes, hey, fucking relax, man. I'm fucking Big Cassidy of the Cassidy clan. Like, he claimed to be from a clan, like a traveller clan. That was one bit that sticks out, but probably some of the hard loving that I experienced back in those days was good. And I lived when I lived with Owen. I didn't know Owen other than when I lived with, I'd see him around school, and he decided, like, he was moving out of a place, and he moved in with us. It was me, my sister, and my ex-girlfriend, and Pete would just drop along for the crack. But we had some good times there. Took acid in that house on Good Friday. Mad trip. Lee fucking Duncan, how are you getting on? Fucking story, man. Get me into some festivals, will you? Get me into some festivals. Jimmy Jules Bar. I fucking love to have a pint with Pete. He is the clone of my best mate, Webster. Yeah, Pete, when you get him on the sauce and you give him a little schmuck of the jig jag, I wish I'd recorded some of the things that he came out with over the years. About 10 years ago, I went to visit my ex-girlfriend and her boyfriend at the time, Big Jimmy. Like, Jimmy was a big Swedish dude and not the funniest lad. So we'd had a few drinks for Saturday night, and Pete then had a smoke, got out of it. But he just went on like a 15-minute stream of consciousness, and I was just in fucking tears laughing. And the next day I got a message from my ex going, what the fuck was up with Pete? Jimmy asked, was he retarded? Lee Duncan, in Brazil here. Say hello to the Gracies. And that Bolsonaro cunt. The top of the list, you can't have pints on a Good Friday, but nothing wrong with acid. Yeah, it took the edge off. I remember we seen like Pope John Paul, like we stayed up all night, and I kept trying to draw what I could see in my mind. I was like, oh, this is gonna look brilliant. But it was like on like an A4 piece of paper. It was about that sized and really detailed. But we seen it was like fucking hell, like news from America, like doing strikes in Baghdad. And I was like, fuck, this is heavy. And then like Pope John Paul was like this. And I was like, oh, just had to turn the TV off. But our friend Stevie and Pete ended up going to Burr in Offaly, and just continued it for another day and a half, whereas I decided to slope off with this guy Glyn we were living with. And Big Lebowski came onto Channel 4, cooked some Goodfellas pizzas, and just chilled. And that was a nice memory of Galway. Dragon looks like a white Samuel L. Jackson. Fact. I love the hat he got with Paris written on it. That was a nice touch. Yeah, Jimmy. Airstrikes on Acid. That's a good EP title, is right. That is a good EP title. Was it one of those S symbols everyone draws? Yeah, like those S symbols, like the Slipknot logo. That's it. It's just the S, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one ever thought of like trying to make that font for other letters of the alphabet. Where did the French toast name come from? That came from when Pete and Stevie and our friend McGinney and the rest of them were out in Australia, and apparently they were sitting around a tent one night or like a campsite, and Pete was like, hey, French Toast O'Toole would be a fucking hilarious name for a character. So when I was coming up with a name for his character, I was like, yeah, it's called French Toast O'Toole. And that's the story about that. You played any good games recently, Martin? I was playing a bit of Fortnite yesterday for the crack. And there's another one I've downloaded. Can't fucking remember the name of it. It's just some fat mutant on it, and it's I give that a go. But I think all these games nowadays they're just like shoot 'em ups, and then you have to pay for add-ons, which is it's a bit daft, man. I like the idea of just buying a game and you don't have to fucking buy extras. Remember, Gran Turismo did that a couple of years ago, and it's like you can pay real money for fake cars. I was like, what's the fucking point in that? Jimmy, we should collab a couple of tracks, Martin. We could write EP No Bother. We're both gas musicians. Jimmy, man, tell me how we can do it, and I'll do it. I could probably try and put some things on Logic and send it over to you. But yeah, I'd be up for that. Batman is free on PlayStation this month. Batman, you say? Maybe I might fucking have a look at old Batman, see what he's up to. Blair Witch game. What's that? You just run around the woods being scared. Oh, fat mutant. That was me. I had my own game. Fucking clone name Gibson. Some fucking contact. I liked it. If Batman was born in Newry instead of Gotham, it would have been the Ra. He would have. Fair enough. You mind Gran Turismo Prologue, a fucking game before the actual game? Jimmy, man. It's just like I got to the stage, like Gran Turismo 1 was fucking unreal. It was the best thing ever. And then Gran Turismo 2 kind of went a bit downhill because that's when because in the first one you could just race modify all the cars, and it was cool to see like a fucking Micra, and you just turn it into even shit like that. It was a good laugh. And then you couldn't do up cars in the second one, and then the third one was kind of shit. And then it was like A-Spec, or I think that was the third one. But then Gran Turismo 4, all these fucking time penalty points and endurance races. I just got 24 hours of spare time to race a fucking, a digital car around a track. Imagine, like, I often think of the amount of time and energy I put into games. If I had like XP points where I would just do fucking shit like get paperwork in order or apply for the right fucking job. And it was like, ching, 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 ching. And it was like, today you must take care of the gardening. Ching, ching, ching. And the output would be unreal. Antonio Prola, yeah, overly realistic, just fucking drains the fun. Absolutely. That's, like, what would be the crack in that, The whole idea is you're racing a game. It's a good laugh, like it's more advanced than an arcade experience. Kev Johnston, our kid sold his cars in GT for a dragster and couldn't enter nothing. There you go. Fucked it. Like, you should be able to enter every car into every race. That's the whole fucking crack. But that was another part that really annoyed me about Gran Turismo, was the fact you had tire restrictions and different cars. That's fucking bollocks, man. I mean, they'd want to have a good sit down and talk to themselves. They'd want a good fucking dildo right up the ass, mate. Play GTA too much and go out. Everyone feels like a jacker. Do you know what? I got bored of GTA as well. That's about 8 years ago. I was just going around doing fucking pick my fucking laundry up. Hey, pick my wife up. So I could do that in real life. I'd probably get paid for it. So yeah, I can't be arsed with GTA either. I do like Fortnite, or not Fortnite, Fallout. That was good crack. Love Dead and GTA, gas crack. Like, yeah, Roger Clark, I'm in touch with him, the main dude out of Red Dead, but I've got to play the game first. I haven't got a copy of it, but I'll play it and then I'll do a podcast with him. Sean says GTA is very cathartic. I'm sure it is, mate. Sure it is. I think the online is probably good crack as well. I like Vice City was just the fucking best thing ever, man. And I also remember when GTA 3 came out, and my mate Steve, CSI Steve, he was like waiting for the bus to Dublin. I was like, "Where are you off to?" Go to Dublin. Gonna buy GTA. I'm like, what's that? Grand Theft Auto. 3. I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, it's brilliant. It's an open world. I was like, fuck off, man. So yeah, that was awesome. So played that a lot. And usually what I do in GTA is just get chased, just go around shooting and get chased by the cops. That was like the most fun bit, especially when you put the cheats in. Do you find the idea of possibly in our lifetime we'll be entering the Matrix to play game? Mate, we're probably already in the fucking Matrix. Hindus, I was listening to Terence McKenna videos a while back, and he kind of entertained the idea that maybe we might be living in some sort of, see, they didn't have game technology back then, but an experience. But maybe, like, I mean, who knows? When we go to sleep, that's just logging off. It's like, I've fucking done enough of that for today. And then you go back to your cosmic world. But yeah, I mean, like, after I seen that shit on Day After Paddy's Day, fucking open to anything now at this stage. You know, that was that weird orb that I seen. And a friend of mine who's a pilot was saying, no, that was a weather balloon. And I was like, fucking know what I saw, man. I know what I saw. And I wasn't the only one to see it. And I did a bit of research. I was listening to this podcast about it as well. And they were saying, like, Chinese lantern and weather balloon is like they always say it. The vibe is unreal. Oh, the soundtrack of Vice City. Yeah, it was brilliant. Twisted Sister, V-Rock, and some of the commercials, like Yuppie and the Alien. A hard-hitting police drama from a troubled precinct downtown. Yuppie and the Alien. Partner, hey partner, let's go cruise in the car like Moody. Do you do any VR games yet? Place in Waterford is good. Still in the early days. Oh, but it's good crack. I haven't actually played anything with a VR headset. But I thought it's rare I get the time these days. Dustin's live. Hi, I'm new here. How is everyone? Good man, Dustin. Fucking subscribe there and tell all your friends. That's what they say, isn't it? Oh yeah, give a thumbs up if you like this as well, because I don't know if is it going to make much difference. Fuck knows. Wench the next. I like James Jean. Wench the next $30 out, Durkin. You've missed that one. You'll have to go back and watch it later on. Who knows? Is the answer to that question? Terence McKenna, Robert Anton Wilson, and the boys. They like to smoke. They did like a smoke. Oh man, that light from the airplane window yoke was riveting to listen to the podcast on while I was out for a walk. Sweet. I said it again because I wanted to talk about with Eddie, but his answer was just, huh. So, but you'll hear that again. Just stay in your arms tonight. Get Tony McGregor on the pod. Could get Tony McGregor on the pod. Probably do it actually. He'd be like, yeah, it's this is a Hugo Boss suit. When I tendered a crisp 20, I was furnished with the shrapnel of these euro coins, and I can't do that. I don't have pockets on my suit jacket. Could ask him about how I'll make a note of it, and I will entertain the concept of that, and I will come back to you. But I just need to make a list of appointments of getting people bosh, and just get one out a week, I think. Paul O'Connell says, Vice City is pretty much unplayable now. All I do is crouch, hop, and aim at the wrong people. Yeah, I haven't played it, man, in years. But I don't know if they've done like a remake, but that was the best of all the Grand Theft Auto games, in my opinion. I didn't really like Liberty City or San Andreas that much. That was a kind of, at that stage, it got a bit too mission heavy. So I was like, I don't know, it got a bit too big as well. And I actually have no interest in Grand Theft Auto these days, which is sad, because when number 1 came out, I remember talking to a lad called Gary Brennan in school, and he was like, oh man, this fucking game I have got, Grand Theft Auto, and you get to run people over and there's swearing and shit. I'm like, yeah, tell me more. Yeah, you steal cars. I was like, fucking hell, man, I can't get my hands on this. And I got like the limited edition, which had like the soundtrack with it. Went all the way to Galway to buy a pair of Nike Air Max and GTA. And by God, I was a happy boy. Oh, Do you remember doing a skit with the Munster Rugby squad? I heard about it in another podcast. Yeah, that was brilliant crack. And the shite bags who were working, the pie chart merchants of fucking Munster, they shelved it, which was fucking shame, man, because there was some very funny stuff in that. I had to take a tackle from Jerry Flannery, and I was wearing a pair of slip-on shoes and sidestepped him, and I did it twice. And then the producer was like, "No, you got to take a tackle off him." And I knew it was coming, so I'm like, "Ugh," and fucking hell, it winded me. The guy's a beast. Good fucking podcast, actually. Jerry Flannery knows who I'm talking about. Jerry Flannery's a sound out skin. Actually, all credit where it's due. GTA London was hilarious. Yeah, it was well retro. Maybe I'm too old, but I can't be bothered with all the DLC shite. Yeah, man, it's just fucking, it's annoying. It's like playing an Amstrad, but a more advanced version. We have to just like load all the tapes. My friend used to play 24 hours of endurance race after homework and then pause the game. So he just left the thing running all night. Fair enough. I used to play an awful lot of Command and Conquer, as did Tordoff, and friends of ours, like we'd fucking play that for hours. I mean, like just skirmish missions for like 8 hours at a time. Didn't get out much, but I enjoyed it looking back. But I think if I'd only learnt the guitar instead, it would have been a different story. But then again, this is why there's no point in regretting anything, because again, if I start playing guitar 2 years early, God knows where I'd be now. Could be better or worse situation, but I don't want to know. It's kind of when you think about, like, as I was saying earlier on, about the time permutations, kind of messes with your head a bit. So let's just not talk about it. It was the road not taken, fucking precisely. Red Alert 2 was class. That was the first introduction to CNC. I borrowed it off a guy called Tony Henry, or Stephen Henry, his brother. And after that, then I was like, man, I never even knew this game existed, but yeah, it was unreal. Do I ever wish I was 21 again? Yeah, I mean, I'd have a better hairline. That's what it used to be. I had class hair back in the day, man. Yeah, just physically. And just like when you're younger, you just don't give a shit, man. I mean, yeah, I mean, if I could just go back and relive, I had a hard time though. I was 21. Some fucking bad shit happened, and it ruined and otherwise what would have been a perfect year. But I shan't elaborate on that. It's too depressing. When you buy a game now, you get 20% off, 5% off it. Pay to win loot boxes should be banned. Yeah, Kev, that's a very good point, man. That's just it just doesn't. It's not fair. You know, that's the good thing, I suppose, about Fortnite. But it's like every day they're going, "Oh, buy this new skin or a new outfit." It's like 10 quid to buy an outfit that comes out every day. And you know, I see people are selling them online. They're like, "Okay, you can buy my Epic account for like fucking 500 quid." It's like, it's fucking mental. Maybe an oddball question asked Sean, but what was that actually your ma in the show? It was my ma in the show, yeah. And Uncle Mick is my dad's brother. Which of the podcast episodes is your favorite? Personally, love the one with SIM card. Yeah, that was good crack. But mate, when you hear the one with Eddie Bravo, I sent it over to Boo Boo Dolls today to hear his take on it. He went, "Martin, I have to say it was your best one yet, because there was no holding back, and you know you didn't have like a dry shite on. He was fucking brilliant crack." And I was like, fair enough, but man, we go into some mad fucking territory. Yeah, you'll enjoy it. And if you know of anyone else who's into the podcast, by all means, yeah, let them know. Can't wait to hear Big Eugene on the podcast. He's king of Mayo. Yeah, I spoke to him this couple of days ago about being on the podcast, and he's in fucking Genoa at the moment. If I play to him, so yeah, he's going to be on it next week. Man, Macron, how are those fucking yellow vests going? Are you well? But yeah, man, fucking hell, it's been like nearly an hour and a half of just chatting, but it's nice to get back in the saddle and do a bit. But if you have any ideas for videos or content, because I really want to make a couple of more funny videos, just to kind of standalone videos to put out there. Did Joe Rogan ever get to see the call out video Owen Colgan made for him? Apparently, he very, very nearly did, because they were watching Traveller call out videos, and Owen's one came up in the thumbnails, and the conversation went. So he very nearly did. Your podcast a class. Thanks very much, Connor. Appreciate that, mate. Do you know Paul Nolan, the racehorse trainer and ex-hunter? I don't, unfortunately, Kev. Is it someone I should know? And can he train me to ride a horse? You saw that it was in the recommend. Yeah, that was Collie got close, and I meant to mention that to Eddie yesterday, but forgot. It was just the podcast to be getting me through the working day, man. You know what? That's all I want, is because I know what it's like. It's fucking the working day, man. Blessed is the man who enjoys his job. At the end of the day, it gets dark. Travel, man, there's some brilliant Traveller call out videos. The things Peter Ganley was making with Chris Green, the game of mobile homes. You should go back and check them out on YouTube, because they were very funny. They use like the Game of Thrones music, and it was just like, I can't remember if they had like a map of Ireland. It was like Longford, Tuam, Waterford, Sligo. I asked Scorpio to be on the podcast, but he goes, I don't do that anymore. He politely declined. Jonah Anderson, yeah, same here. Podcast feels like an actual conversation. Good chat. No, man, I do my best. And that's something I always wanted to be, like a host for, have a chat show. Because, I mean, I'm not great with the tech side of things, but I can fucking chat. And that's something I enjoy talking to people. And, I'm not one of these I'm not aggressive in how I speak to people. And, a lot of people will be trying to ask people hardball questions, but I just like to have a chat, man. I'm chill. You know what I mean? Get Jesus on the podcast. Jesus, if you want to fucking jump on, I'll definitely have a little chat with you. Don't believe it, man. Danny Riley knows who I'm talking about. Yeah, Danny Riley is a very, very good friend of mine. I haven't seen much of you lately, Dan. One of those real life friends you see in real life. He used to work in Cineworld in Dublin, and fair play to him. He used to get us in for free the whole time, and used to live on Bolton Street in Dublin, and we just piss off the balcony onto the street below. Good days. But there was we went to see Shrooms, the movie, in Cineworld back in 2007. And what we would do is we'd get like a bag of cans and go into Cineworld and just sit there watching a film, drinking cans. And we started doing this chant where it's like just a nonsensical football chant that if you heard it down the street, you'd be like, ooh, football hooligans. It was always, West Ham away. Ooh, tss, ah. So that became like a little thing we'd shout back in the day. How are we getting on, Dan? West Ham away. You come over to Sweden to visit me anytime. Good crack to have you over. It's been what, 12 years since the last time we were here, and it was so stressful trying to find an apartment to stay that I ended up getting a nosebleed. Good times. We ended up going to a fetish party. Fuck me, man. Went there 3 years in a row and got told we couldn't come back. The Irish crew were too wild. We were too sexy for the sex party. I don't know if you've seen Netflix Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Seinfeld. I was thinking you could do a class job I could quite easily, but I don't have a car. That fucker could give me one though. I'd be like, hey Seinfeld, you take cut. Do we know 911 GTR fucking turbo, will ya? No. Fetish party. Yes, Sean. Fetish party. And there was beautiful women going around wearing PVC, latex, mad shit. There's a lot of things happened. Good times. Comedians in carts. Just lads going around in a go-kart. You've got like another comedian sitting on your knee. You're just cruising around a car park. Safe pass. Brian Pryor says, no mang, keeping harping on about weird time permutations. That's only that shit, man. If you think about that too long, it'll just wreck your head. It's the argument of, are you in control of what happens in front of you, which is the nice way to look at it, or is your destiny predetermined? Which, if you did ascribe to that mindset, you could be like, well, not my fault, it was destiny. Eyes wide shut job. I fucking took a turn for the worst there, man. It was like Eyes Wide Shut minus the fucking creeps and the wrong'uns and just sound people sniffing feet. I mean, like it was. Danny Riley said naked fat couple on a sex swing. Fair play, Dan. I won't go into any names of who was at what, but I mean, it wasn't that wild, like, but there was some wild shit going on there. And the first year I went out, I didn't know that there was this. Like, I thought there was like a building site or something on the other side of the room. It was a really posh house, and then I seen someone coming out of it, and it's like the party was like nearly over, and I looked inside this place and just people going at it, and two hot women 69ing, and just. I looked over and one of the lads we knew was just getting a wank, and I was like, why didn't anyone tell me about this place? But yeah. Dessert, says Dan Riley. Dessert. The Scissor Sisters. I'm not talking about those crazy bitches who cut your man's head off. Tommy, I won't mention what Danny Riley just mentioned in the comments. But a good time was had. Good time was had by all us. Sunder. Let me see if I've got anything else. The latest thing, some fucking Swedish professor has been entertaining the idea of cannibalism. Only in fucking Sweden, man. He was entertaining the idea of cannibalism to combat climate change. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people, man? It's like, who's just going to volunteer for that? Fucking wrongins, man. That lad should be just taken down to Ballina Pool Hall and just have a couple of lads have some strong words with him. I think that's all it takes, man. Just a couple of slaps and then he put him right. Eating the vegans. There wouldn't be a fucking pick on them. You could probably take. There's a lot of those like bodybuilders on Instagram that would make good eating. The weather's gone mad, so let's eat each other. Yeah, it's mad. Like Schlepper's hole, like he did the Viper in the Chipper. Yeah, I mean, yeah, people like that, man. That's just fucking. It shouldn't even be allowed into mainstream consciousness. Did you see the court case of the vegan versus the barbecue in Australia? I did, Sean, but I would like to hear more about that. This stream would be even better if you were on mushrooms. It certainly would be a lot more interesting. I don't know if it would be good viewing, though. Martin, should I crack open a can here? Absolutely, mate. It's Friday. Curry sauce everywhere. Fact. I know what I did wrong to him. If we were all on mushies, that'd be a nice touch. I have a Discord group, which I think if you get onto the Hardy Bucks Discord group, it's good crack, and it's just kind of like keep in touch, and it's good banter in there, man. Yeah, it's cool. Quato on shrooms. They're actually mushy season is coming up, so I would urge people to maybe get out and take a little wicker basket, a little brush, and while you're out looking for canterelles, throw a few Liberty Caps into the mix. Shroom stream. Yeah, Jimmy, get on the cans, mate. What's the link for the Discord? You see, the Discord is the other thing. It's linked to the Patreon, but for like the price of a fucking pint per month, you get access round the clock as Jesus, as Dr. David and Rory will tell you. So that's only for patrons, unfortunately, because that's part of one of the bonuses. But yeah. So I'm thinking about doing like a Discord group where people can just chat on the Discord group, like a face-to-face kind of thing. It is good crack. Haunt the Patreon, lads. Support the man for price of a pint. Come and get the crack into you hard and fast. Yeah, it's nice, man. We've got a nice little crew in there. And yeah, it's good. The Macron podcast, I was reading some reviews there, and it's like, this lad's a cruel joker. But that's not why I haven't been on it. Just I've had too many fucking things going on at the moment. He likes the insects. Yeah, but someone I was checking out your show though, and I was looking at reviews, and there was some people who were upset. So I must check out your podcast and see what the crack is there. What do you think of Blind Boy? I used to know him back in the day, but like, yeah, I tried getting in touch with him in a couple of times. Tried getting in touch with him when I was in Limerick about doing a show. Fucker didn't even get back to me, so fuck him. If he's like, I get back to everybody, and if he didn't have the decency to get back, it's his beef. But it's a long road with no turns. But yeah, you know, I've fair play to the guy, man. He's biggest podcast in Ireland. So yeah, good on him for that. But they always did, man. The like, you know, the Rubber Bandits. They always where we kind of faltered. They managed to keep. They always had like a good handle on like current events, culture. And yeah, they were. You've got to admire their success. They're driven, and they both shared the same vision. You know, I think sometimes when you have too many people in something, it's quite difficult to get everyone steered towards the same goal. But yeah, fair play to him, man. You know, Mr. Chrome. Yeah, he's sound is the other lad. I won't reveal his name, but no, he's a good dude. Does Chris not want to know or something, mate? I don't know. He's just doing his own thing. I don't think it's anything personal. I think he's just happy out doing his own thing, man. You know, the green and red of me. Oh, fact. Owen is enlisting Varna for the matchmaking festival. Paddy Power for the ride. Hey, yeah, Owen's doing fucking well, man. I mean, in certain aspects, fucking moving to Sweden was career suicide. You know, like I thought I'd be in a position where I would be able to do my writing from Sweden, and then it's just fucking difficult, man. When you're out of sight, you're out of mind. And I thought it would be more feasible just to jump on a plane, but child number 2 came along, and yeah, that was kind of made. But you know what? Like I'm a dad, 2 kids, and I love them to bits. And I kind of feel like, yeah, my career has suffered in many ways because I'm not around people in the industry, but the gift of fatherhood is fantastic. I mean, just the things I'm capable of that I would have looked at before being a dad, I would be like, oh, fuck that. But yeah, it's I think itself, like, to be a dad is it's a rite of passage, and when you become a parent, you're forced to think of other people, whereas beforehand I was just kind of cruising through life, quite hedonistic, and you know, I had my sights set for Hollywood. I was out there. I met the writers of The Office. I met one of the guys who was like the head of Shine Media. Like I was out there having fucking power meetings, and it was kind of, I was like, yeah, I'll be back out in LA next year, and I kind of just thought, fuck it, let that ship sail for now. Owen Caddy for Shane, he won the Open. He did, fair play to him. If you sign up to the Patreon, Martin will send you a mascot with a photo of Brezzy in it. Raising young Hardy Bucks. Yeah, I'm going to get my daughter into jiu-jitsu as well. I'm going to sign her up because we've been talking about it for 2 years. There's a queue on at the moment, but it's, I definitely think the kids, man, I'm going to have them doing martial arts because I think it's good discipline. It's great confidence. And I think for like most, like any kids I used to see in school who could box, you never seen them in trouble with fighting. You know, like they never had anything to prove compared to like the street scrappers. And any of those lads who did come across someone who had a reputation for being a tough guy in the street were very quickly dispatched. So I just think it's like I said earlier on, something that everybody should get into. Doesn't matter what age you are, just get into jiu-jitsu and you know, boxing training. You don't have to go sparring, but it's great fitness and it gives you a nice little extra bit of confidence. And I probably wouldn't have never got into it. I mean, I always kind of wanted to, but it was Tom Cogallan and Collie who were training in, I think it was the Black Dragon in Galway out in West Side. And I went out there just on a whim with the lads, and I hadn't done any kickboxing or any of that kind of stuff. My brother-in-law showed me some kind of bag drills back in the day. But Tom Cogallan was like, "Hey Maloney, in fairness to you, I thought you'd be shy, but you're actually fucking handy." So just from that, like Tom would have like the King of the Cage, like King of the Cage. It's the fucking King of the Cage, man. He bought that from like Zhivago in Galway, and I was like, "What the fuck is this, man?" Tom was just a great man for producing really obscure DVDs, and Steve Collins' Hard Men of Boxing was another one, and I think that nearly made it into the Hardy books. So we had King of the Cage and Steve Collins' Hard Men of Boxing. Are you Shady Ganley or not? Yes, I'm Shady Ganley. But there's been a few people who've played Shady. Like sometimes Pete's played him, sometimes Tordoff has played him. King of the Town, man. Yeah, so I think we'll wrap it up here soon. Zhivago has gone shite. Yeah, I suppose I'm amazed Zhivago is still going, considering like I mean, I think you know DVDs and streaming or like online Netflix and that kind of thing. But I think there was something nice like back in the day when you go to a secondhand music store and or like a regular fucking music store and it was nice just to flip through and go, cool, that looks edgy. It's got a fucking parental advisory sticker on it. Pounded a few bags in your time. Oh. Favorite Thin Lizzy album? Good question. Maybe Jailbreak. Oh no, Roisin Dove. Roisin Dove would be the favorite. Jailbreak, then Chinatown. Yeah, I'd have to say probably the best of Thin Lizzy. Oh, you fucking said it, Jimmy. Jimmy said it as well. Lyrics in a booklet. Yeah, hey, great minds think alike. Great minds think alike. Ever see Limmy's show? Thoughts? Yeah, man, fucking absolute genius. I really wanted to do a sketch show as well, but I seem to know more about it a couple of years ago. But a sketch show would be definitely like I think if me and Chris wrote a sketch show together, it would be one of the best sketch shows of all time. We did like a little sketch, me, Owen, and Chris years ago. We just had like cameras and we were doing two cops interrogating Owen, and he was like an Irish tourist, and we were playing two cops, and I was playing like, "Does Mullah Omar ring a bell, sir?" And then I was playing like the bad cop, and Chris was coming in like this, going, "Look, we know you're a good guy. We're trying to help you out here. Just tell us the truth, and you can be out of here in no time." No, he can't. So yeah, it was very funny. But I will say something on Chris. I think the two of us are really fucking missing the trick, man. And because Chris is very tech savvy, and the problem, like if I had the same tech skills he had, I'd be doing the same thing as I'd be at the same level as him, and I just find it very difficult to express what's up here. It takes a long time for me. Like for him, he could edit something in about an hour, where it'd take me a day or maybe a day and a half. But the thing is, out of everyone, like I just need to convey an essence to Chris, and he immediately picks up on it. And yeah, it'd be nice to do something like fucking in the future if he comes out. And comes out of his fucking shell, man. But I just think there's so much. I think it's necessary just to take the piss out of fucking that. Like me and him, we grew up, and we would just take the piss all day out of everything. We were just natural born piss takers, and there is such I mean, it's at the current state of things now. It's low hanging fruit, and I kind of feel like when I have Chris at my back, I'm not afraid to. I'll say to Chris, "I go, was that a bit far?" And he's like, "No, not at all." And I'm like, "All right, well, if Chris says it's all right, then we'll fucking do it." And I kind of feel like I don't really have the balls to do some of the things I would have done when it was like a tag team. But hopefully, he comes around to the idea, because I think for the sake of comedy fans, we're all kind of missing out. And he always said to me back when we were filming the earlier episodes of Hardy Books, he was like, "Martin, you're like a fucking missile, man, of energy and creativity, but you just need to be steered in the right direction." And that's what he did, man. He helped steer it in the right direction, and he helped to kind of, because it was the whole Hardy Books came about because he goes, "Oh, do you want to come down and do a bit of filming?" When I was working in Galway on the sites. So I just took a few characters, a few people around town, and turned that into Eddie Durkin. And when he cut it together, we knew instantly it was going to be a hit. And yeah, because the thing is, like, he's pretty quiet, and he's not really the best in terms of social situations, but he's a fucking genius. And I got to say, hats off to him. He was in Ireland before then. Who was this? We will have to stop donating to Viper. Get him out. Get some cash in the claw. Get him out of the house, man. That famous Champions League team. I'm missing out on something in the chat here. Did he play for Leeds under 16? He was actually he was a very, very good footballer, but a fucking cheeky bastard, man. Like his cheek knew no limits. We had a friend of ours who had a pair of yellow Diodora football boots, and we'd always play football on the green. And like these fucking shoes were like size 12, so they looked like a pair of bananas. So he was like, fuck off, banana man. And your man got really pissed off with Chris. And he thought that he was calling a banana man because his shots were going wide like a banana. So yeah, and we had like a whole language. There's another friend of ours, Kinsella, who was like, Kinsella was a fucking legend. He'd drive around in his mother's car, like this TDI Peugeot 405. Man, I'd be like, Chris, what are you doing driving the car, man? You're not allowed. And he's like, fuck it. And then they could just drive us around the town without the license. Great crack. David Dunwoody, Martin, met you in the Highgate Inn with Paddy O'Houlihan, lookalike, top man. Hope you well. When was that, David? Was that back at the gig, was it? That was good crack. Anytime in the Highgate Inn is a good laugh. Tordoff lives in my ma's old lady's gaff in Westport High. Give me the fucking address and I doorstop him. You're from Leeso, ain't you, Martin? No, I'm actually from Wallasey, but we have family friends living in Leeso. There used to be like when we were in school in St. Mary's, there used to be this legendary bunch of fucking dudes who we'd never met in our life, but they were called the Leb, the Leeso Estate Bad Boys. Terrifying bunch of fucking phantoms. Seaforth, where's that? Is that near Morton, is it? Yeah. You have that. Bootle. All right, yeah. Actually, Piper's mum's from Bootle. Did you ever get to work with Andy Quirk, podcast idea? I did a film, Damon and Ivor film 2 years ago with Andy Quirk. I had to pay a traveller. Do you know what I mean? I've had people come up to me. I've had members of the community come up to me. Go, that's not a bad voice, not fair play to you. You did all right. Yes, way man. Tordoff's ma, she's from Mayo, but she was from Bootle. So he actually does a very good Scouse accent as well. Leasehold State Bad Boys. Who was that and what did she want? What was this question now? The side of the Mersey is Wallasey. My sister lives near Allerton. Wallasey is on the Wirral. So you got Liverpool and then you have the River Mersey. And here's a useless bit of information for you. The reason the River Mersey was such a prominent port was because unlike the River Dee, which is a peninsula on the other side, there was a very strong current that helped with bringing traffic up and down into Liverpool. So my geography teacher told me back in the day. Beersman, MEP, I'm moving to Liverpool in 3 weeks. Do you still visit much? No, I haven't been to Liverpool for about 6 years. And I've got family over there as well, but just fucking difficult to get out. Like my dad still lives there, and my uncles and cousins, and the bad boys are after you. But yeah, I haven't really had the time to go over. But I would like to go over and see them. Yeah, but Wallasey, man, it was where I lived is kind of like it's just Loch Lane. It's to live behind Loch Lane. Yeah, but where I lived, it used to be a really nice place back until like the late 90s. Now it's just like a suburb of consumerism. There's not really an awful lot going on, but yeah, some really nice parts to it as well. Did you hear Purple Aki has surfaced in Newcastle? Myself and Jesus are going hunting for one in. Man, that would be such crack to go on the hunt for Purple Aki. Apparently, like, because there was always the legend of Purple Aki growing up, and it was some sort of like ethereal being who was like described as looking like the Undertaker from WWE. But then, because there was like a tombstone in a place called Earlston Cemetery, and it just said Blanco Blackie, and it had no date, no information. It just said Blanco Blackie on like a really old kind of a tombstone that had turned green. It was really fucking spooky. And so sometimes we'd go, do you want to go down to Earlston Cemetery, look at Purple Aki's grave? So we'd go down to fucking, it was crossing Asda on Seaview Road. We'd be like, oh mate, that's fucking Purple Aki's fucking grave. And so apparently that was the legend of Purple Aki. Do you know what I mean? And he was fucking dead scary. And then there was a lad called Purple Aki who actually was a bit of a fucking wrong'un. And apparently, I watched a documentary about Purple Aki, and some lad got fucking chased by him, and he was so scared that he jumped off a bridge onto a railway tracks to get away from him. Died. God rest him. And so Purple Aki apparently would stop people in shopping centres, or he'd go into a gym or a toilet, and he'd just say to like young lads, "Let me feel your muscles," or like do some push-ups. And he's like fucking 6'7", and yeah, he's up in Newcastle, man. Fuck me, the legend of Purple Aki. Forget Purple Aki. Growing up in the West Country, we all feel Wurzel Gummidge. Oh, Wurzel Gummidge, man. I remember seeing that shit on Channel 4 on a Sunday morning after Mass. And that fucking freaked me out, man. That Polly is that doll used to hang around with. Just fucking that shit, and like Little House on the Prairie, anything that was weird and technicolor, like TV from like the 60s, 70s, freaked me out, man. Freaked me right the fuck out, that did. Sandhill train station. That was Martin. What was this? Vanessa Phelps gave Purple Aki a shout out on Smooth Radio. Facts. Vanessa Phelps. Is that Vanessa Phelps? Or is that another person called Vanessa Phelps? Just a Flipper was the worst. Conor McGregor, done and dusted. Oh, the fat one, yeah, Phelps. She gave him a well. Maybe she digs that kind of thing. Conor McGregor, done and dusted, man. Hey, he might be fucking dusted. I don't know what the crack is with him, man. He's just needs to get the fuck out of Dublin for a while and just don't tell anyone where he's going and just fuck off to Fiji and just put his feet up and just kick the media and just chill. I'd say McGregor is almost bankrupt now. I doubt it, man. He's making a fortune off the whiskey and all the other royalties. She's got movies out. Any plans to do stand up in Dublin? Yeah, I don't have a booking agent, so I have a gig in the Galway. If any of you guys around Friday the 25th in Galway, I'll be doing the Crane in Galway for the comedy festival, so that should be a bit of crack. And doing a gig in Loughrea on the following Monday. So before then, I'll maybe I should just try and set up a few gigs in Ireland. So that'd be good crack. Punching out, lads. 4G being 4 grams of coke a day. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine, right? Stand up in Cirencester. Funny enough, my sister actually knows the woman who's running that club. I would definitely do stand up there. She runs some sort of like truther kind of event, and there was a guy there called Danny Paradox. What a name! What a guy! Yeah, stand up in Cirencester. Yeah, my sister's talked about that before, and so, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. There's apparently a very funny dude called the Badger or something who's down in Cirencester. I'll get a flight out for that with the help of God August Darwin. Man, Jimmy. Yeah, it'd be good crack to hang out with you. Like Russell Crowe fighting around the world. Aaron, what's the gaff? We've got Donald Cotter in the mix. Well, my ginger bueno brother. I just like the way new ringers are entering, coming in and out. Sometimes it gets up to 45, sometimes it's 36. Flying to Kemble Airport. Yeah, that's like my sister lives not too far from Swindon. It's a nice part of the world down there. And I think if I have to fly from here, I have to go to Bristol or else go to London, take the train up. But I am due to go over there at some stage before the year is out. Jamie Donovan, what's the story with you, man? But yeah, man, fucking, and that one you cunts gave a fucking super chat, huh? Cunts. Apparently, fucking Google gets like 30% of it anyway. Any Yorks. All the B-52s are flying over because of the USF and Fairford. Actually, she lives right beside Fairford, and they get really pissed off because they have the tattoo sky every year. But yeah, I remember being down there because my brother-in-law was from Coles Hill, and back in 1999 when I was there as a teenager, I just heard this fucking really low grumbling noise in the sky, and then just seen like a fucking B-52 bomber just flying overhead on its way to Kosovo. So when you hear that shit flying overhead, you just, man, like even my sister's house, sometimes when you hear this like fucking really loud plane coming in, And I remember looking up, and it just looked like a fucking building in the sky. It was massive. I couldn't really make out what was going on. Are the Jews involved? Asked Jamie Donovan. The 4B2s. Big Rom. Story. Senior in Cork Opera House 2013. Only 14 at the time. Know how to use super chats. I don't even know how to use them either, mate, to be honest with you. Yeah, that was good crack, that was yeah, we did like a mini tour 2013, did Edinburgh, Cork Opera House, and I think we did London as well. We were in the Islington O2. That was good crack. Where the fuck are you from, boyo? But yeah, if anyone's coming over to Galway 25th, that's going to be good crack. So come over. Jimmy the Hammer will give you 9 bars of hash. Hello, this is Click Daily UK Live. You're on our show taking live calls about you on your YouTube page. Over 10k people are watching us now calling. We have not released your name. What does that mean, man? What does that mean? What is it? Cheers, Big Rom, you're a gas man too. Scam, yeah. Yeah, release some money my way, man. Click Daily, I want some fat coin and I want it now. We have callers talking about you. Who are they? Tell them I'm sound. Tell them to call me fucking Domino's, quick. Look at them hands. You never seen a day of work in your life. Nigerian Prince scan. It's not a scam because it's free. What's the crack, man? What's the yeah, are they watching it live? Are they? YouTube is watching us. 10k. Tell them to get on the Hardy Books podcast. Eddie Bravo's on the next episode, yeah? I like the way YouTube censors anything with like the word shit or fucking it. Making some nice coin. Yeah. There's some bad wood there. Don't mind the stock, mind the windows, man. Sorry for spam, but me lone Dover and the Big Rom are on PS4 watching together. Oh, good man. Get them on here for some organic views. Also, don't check the stock, check the windows, man. Have a look on our YouTube page. All right, what I'll do is I'll click Daily UK. I'll have a little look on. I'll have a little look at this now. See what this brings up. See if it's legit, yo. Let me have a little look at this. I might even see my own face. Oh yeah. Live calling, trolling YouTubers, live chat. Oh, nice one, man. Nice bit of trolling. You got one person watching, you lying bastard, you. You're doing a bit of trolling here. 10,000, man. You got me. You fucking got me there, man. McAfee's after you. Hey, well, you can subscribe to me now, Click Daily. Because I'm sound. Tell the story about you and Tordoff and the strawberry beer with Lexus in Dublin. Do you know what? I'll tell this and I'll get off. So back in, I think it was like 2001, we went to this Heineken Green Energy Festival in Dublin Castle to see Travis. And Paul was hanging out with the Viper Foley's nephew. We got a lift to the gig. And yeah, so we went to see Travis and all that. And we got a few beers afterwards. And Tordoff ended up buying this cherry beer. And Paul was off the drink, or Alexis was off the drink. And he went back on it over this weekend where my brother-in-law, we were cutting all these bushes down in the back garden and all the bushes were covered in snails. My brother-in-law was saying like, oh, take the snails off the bushes and burn it in a controlled, it was like an old boiler casing, So my job was just to de-snail the bushes and then burn it all in this this boiler case. And I ended up staying at my sister and brother-in-law's house that night. And when Lexus was working on the house with us, it was brilliant crack, man. It was just fucking brilliant crack. Like, he was 27 and I was 18, and like he knew it all, man. He was like the oracle of good times. So I came back with my sister back to the house the next day, and there was just like a stale smell of drink hanging in the air and sweat. So I walk out to the back garden, and there's just fucking white snail shells all over the whole garden. And went back into the room, and my dad and Paul are just lying in bed. And obviously Paul had gone back on the drink. But so later that weekend, Tordorf and Kinsler came down, and it was like a battered sausage that was just sitting around. Paul had thrown it into my dad's bed, and then Chris was just looking at it going, fucking hell, what's going on in this place? And he bought this cherry beer from the off license the night before, and then he was really upset to see me dad had just drank it for breakfast. Good times. See that Aussie lad who had at a slug. He ate a slug. Sure, I know a lad from Swinford who did that on YouTube. I think if you type in Kenny eats slug, you'll see it. I clicked on the channel and heard you've got one person watching. Kev, I did it myself, mate. I think what he meant to say by 10K was just one dude. Who's the block fighter? I shan't name him, but he's sound. And I had nothing to do with that. But when I did hear it the first time, I was just blown away at how someone could be that cheeky and just have that kind of neck like a jockey's bollocks. Loving the beard. You want to see it last week, man? It was proper getting out of hand. Has he died, Gibso? Harsh. Who's this? Who's dead? I was convinced it was one of my mates. Neck like a jockey's bollocks. Any of the hash from the Euros left, or did you smoke it all? It was only a prop, eh? It was only an old propping. The slug eater. I'll have to do a bit of research on this slug eater. He fucking died, man. He got liver fluke. There's a snake called the slug eater. Duberia lutrix. Oh shit. Rat lungworm. He ate a slug on a dare and became paralyzed. An Australian teen rugby player who ate a slug on a dare became paralyzed 8 years ago from rat lungworm. Yeah, lungworm, man. That's the one I was thinking of. I seen a commercial about to be really careful about dogs and slugs because of lungworm. Bad old fucking doing, man. Bad old fucking doing. Mr. Quote Machine, liver fluke. Just found out your channel. Watched all of the Hardy books on Netflix recently. Love it. Misha McElroy, thank you very much. And yeah, it's multi-layered, so you can watch it again and again. As Jimmy said, the slug eater. Poor old deaf cunt. Rugby players are mad cunts. Any shootout for the boys in Cork? Oh, shout out. Oh, fucking Cork, boy. Say hello to the boys down in Cork. Ate a slug for a dare, went into a coma and died after. Fuck me, man. Yeah, shouldn't really be eating fucking slugs, man, you know? So, look, can't put an old head on young shoulders. Do you know what I mean? Met you in Palace, Dublin, back in 2013. We smoked creamy pollen together. They were good times, the Palace. Those fucking James Morrissey signature group jobs. Jenna Marbles was there one night. Tidy body. And also the Corminator from California was there, and someone fucking just sucker punched him out of the blue. and gave him a black eye, the poor bastard. And I was on the phone to him the next day and went, "How are you getting on? Are you all right?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's really fucking embarrassing because I've got to judge a bikini contest later on today out in Saggart." I was like, "Woe is ye, Minator of Core." Corky's from that R, the French, no? Breton language. Breton language. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't surprise me that France would have a connection to Cork, considering it's close enough. And there would have been French lads on boats back in the day. Is the Illuminati putting slugs in parks for dogs to eat? Nothing that fucking surprised me to them slippery cunts. How are you, Martin? Going Liberty Cap hunting next week. Any tips? Love the channel. Shane Larkin. If I knew, well, other than the fact that they look like little cream color nipples, and I think now should be coming into season. I give it another 2 weeks, but they might be out now. But anywhere sheep are grazing, that's your best bet. And if you're in Dublin, Johnny Fox's golf course. Ooh, but they don't like people up there picking shrooms. But if you go down the road, there's a load of hills, and you'll find a shitload of them. And you'll actually meet mushy pickers. Martin loves milk and nipples. Fucking damn right. Damn right. Did you buy the 1998 Toyota GT1 car Mayweather job? Was that the one in Gran Turismo, was it? Fucking did. Toyota GT1 was a lovely little ditty. Big Ram story. Can you travel time and blast one in my mum before? I'm not even going to read that out, man, out of respect to your mum. They grow on the south side facing hills, hey. Lyndon Quinn, that's very true. North facing banks under beech trees, lad. Fuck me, we got some real connoisseurs in the mix. Any more stories about you and Chris growing up? You know what? I'll save a few for the next time. I wonder, does he ever hear any reports of me telling these tales? But they're fucking funny tales, man. So they're only doing the lad proud. Never enjoyed the psilocybe semilanaceta. Body high has me out of sorts. Used to love the cubensis when they were still legal and widely available from shops throughout the gas days. Yeah, you could get these little truffles. I remember my mate's girlfriend called around to the gaff. It was just me and her in the gaff, and she was just sitting there like this going. I was like, "You all right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I went to the shop and I bought these truffles, and they're mad." And I went, "Really? Yeah, do you want some?" I was like, "Yeah, hit me up." So the two of us just sat watching fucking Jeremy Kyle on Mushies. Bit mad, but yeah, it was all fun and games till some accountant jumped out of a window. There's always one, isn't there, who does an R. Kelly, Space Jam, just fucking plummets out the window to one zone, escape of the mortal coil. Best hash in Ireland, Down Mallow. I'm surprised people aren't just fucking growing their own hash in Ireland, man, or growing their own plants. I mean, technically they are a weed, so they should, it'd be nice. It'd be nice just to get a shitload of weed, like seeds, and just scatter them all across the country. Apparently in Jamaica, you can just walk down the street and fucking there's a bush growing. You can just take it and fucking like mushies. It's just ubiquitous and everywhere. That's actually officially the slowest can I've ever drank in my life. Lovely house out Lucan way. I used to know a guy from Lucan called Coleman, and I remember going with him. Some friends of mine wanted to buy a 9 bar back in 2002, and I think they didn't get a very good deal out of it. Yeah, some friends of mine from out Dunleary way. He set up. Oh yeah, your man from Lucan was looking for a 9 bar, and he got set up with a 9 bar, and didn't give him any proceeds from the transaction, nor any financial benefit. And he used to always go around going, ask me Swiss, and got to tiresome after a while. C. Tassin since 2000. Let it grow, as Clapton said. Let it blossom, let it flow. Rory O'Connor, nursing that can like it was the last tit on earth. Hey, you're some fucking guy, you know that? A real piece of work. Soap bar, lovely hash down Wilton area. Super Seagate Haze. Yeah, he likes a bit of hash, in fairness to him. I think they should just legalize it, man. It's fucking, it really does make. A friend of mine had a vape pen with the oil in it. Those things, some of them are a bit harsh on the lung, but just a real game changer. You just take a little blast, pass it to your mate, like just do it in pubs. No one gives a fuck, man. Just like it's gone. That's hardly Druids. I'd get sick. No, it's not Druids, man. It's a fucking tough man's. I remember on the first podcast I did with Owen, he was talking about like drinking shit. He was drinking really cheap cider. I was like, "What are you drinking that for, man?" He goes, "Well, if you keep drinking it, you get used to it, and once you get used to it, you start liking it. So it's a cheap way of getting drunk." I was like, "Fair enough. It's very thrifty logic." Do you know Tamura Morrison from Once Were Warriors? Tamura, I heard she got a class body. Samoan. But it doesn't test the liver. Is that relation to the Kepler cider? Or I remember when I was 18, Scrumpy Jack was the beverage of choice because a man could get loaded. And then Lexus told me the benefits of Stella, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Stella. Oh, that's if you want a good night out, get on the Stella." And any bit of advice he fucking told me that day, in fairness, I took it. We were working and living in my brother-in-law's place, and we went out one Saturday night and had a fucking brilliant time in Dublin. And we had to work on the Sunday at the time. I can't remember. We were a bit behind time on the job, and he unscrewed the door knocker on the door. My brother-in-law was like, "Oh, why did you take away the door knocker?" He's like, "Oh, man, fucking bad head. Didn't know I was doing it at the time." Mark Mulholland is desperate for you to address his comments. We wait patiently in Cassidy's. I bet you do. I bet you do. Where is his? Which one's his? Jobby. Can't fucking see it. Big shout out to the Fox. Yeah, fucking nice one. You just rang me on FaceTime there and interrupted the fucking live stream. You mad cunt. Corrupt T, where are you from? All over, man. All over the gaff. But did a bit of mischief on Devil's Bit before. Yeah, it's bad shit, man. But what is it that your man Mickey Flanagan, he goes, "Get me 2 pints of do as you're told." Well, listen, I'm gonna hit the road. But I think this is officially the longest live stream I've ever done, and you know what? It's been good crack. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and yeah, man, just tell your mates about the channel. Mark Mulholland, remember the time you had a shower with Pete and Collie? Wouldn't be surprised. Let me see. Any stories from the parties? I heard you and Derek Mooney had a few riddlers. Hey, it's fucking rumors, man. Rumors. But yeah, I might do one again next Friday for the crack. Listen, the books. I think you, the fans, need to fucking take care of that, man, and get some sort of like some movement going. And if there's enough of a buzz, word of mouth. That's how it took off in the first place, and it'll happen again. But just it's part of a movement, man. It's a grassroots movement, always was. So get on the buzz there. Tyler Schuler knows what I'm talking about. Hey, Martin, Tyler from the States. Talking about cider. Yes, I am. First night I was in Ireland. I was in Ballymun, Dublin, by the Towers Bar. I was in the Travelodge bar there and had some Scrumpy Jack on tap. I actually drove past that Travelodge on the way to the Mayo match, and I just looked at it and went, "Oh, fuck, imagine staying there for a night." Like it's gone to rack and ruin already. Cosmic old crack at the end of the day. Oh, it is indeed. Cosmic enough, hey. Cosmic enough. Hardy Books, everyone. Hardy Books. Yeah, man. Empty Sandman. Get that shit out there. And Terrible Hangover. All spread. Know the word. Oh, yeah. Cheers for that, Tyler. Appreciate that, man. All right, dudes. Look, spread the word. Get on Patreon for the price of a pint. Get onto the Discord group, and we're building a nice little community in there. We got like all kind of news, and yeah, I mean, like we can definitely start doing a couple of conversations between a lot of us. And be sure to check out the Eddie Bravo podcast that I was going to cut together tonight. I might just do a little bit of time on that and get that up, because but I did tell him I would pass it by him first to see what he said. But it's going to be out before the weekend's gone. And fucking Netflix better get the finger out. Voice chat channels in Discord can be so gassed. Let's get going, lads. Yeah, let's get going, because it's just just one way at the moment. All right, dudes. Look, it's been great fun. Thanks for sticking around, and have a great weekend. And stay safe. Look after each other. Chucky or lore. Good luck. Do you want to end your stream? Yes. See you later.